Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This video lesson is presented by Akem Rahinul Islam, Cambridge certified ELT teacher, London Teacher Training College certified IELTS trainer, and British Council validated trainer is welcoming you to Raihan's Study Tech Center. Cue card number 19. Describe a famous person that you admire. You should say, who is this person? What is his specialty? Why do you admire him? Before discussing the cue card, let's learn some words related to this cue card. Vocabulary: extraordinary, adjective, very unusual, special, unexpected, or strange. Example: she has an extraordinary memory that is able to remember small details in a novel after the first time reading it. With the assistance of. Phrase: helped by something. Example: with the assistance of her private tutor, she passed the final exams with flying colors. Prominent, adjective, very well known and important. Example: the shop occupies a very prominent position on the main street. Reputation, noun, the positive beliefs or opinions that are generally held about someone or something. Example: Harvard University has a worldwide reputation for quality of higher education. Notorious, adjective, famous for something bad. Example: although its dishes are delicious, the restaurant is notorious for poor customer service. Becoming famous overnight is a phrase. There are various ways to become famous overnight on the internet since many people are using social networks. Aptitudes, noun, a natural ability or skill. Example: apart from her passion for swimming, this youngest swimming athlete also possesses an aptitude for his sport. Undergoing cosmetic surgery is a phrase. Example: being ashamed of her round face, Mary decided to undergo cosmetic surgery to obtain a V-line jowl. At one fell swoop, idiom, all at once. Example: I got all my wedding shopping done at one fell swoop. Considerable, adjective, a large amount or of noticeable importance. Example: you wouldn't have failed the exam if you had put considerable effort and time into revision. Familiar with, phrase, having a good knowledge of something. Example: our English teacher tries not to use too much local idioms or slangs during lectures, as other students may not familiar with the language. Number 2, phenomenal, adjective, extremely popular or special, especially in a surprising way. Example: his first movie was quite phenomenal, which brought him 2 nominations for the Oscar. By far, by a great amount. Example: she is by far the best student in the class. Regardless of, phrase, without being influenced by any other events or conditions. Example: she deserved to know the truth, regardless of how desperate it was. Now let's learn about the cue card from the sample answer. Cue card 19. Describe a famous person that you admire. You should say, who is this person? What is his specialty? Why do you admire him? Sample answer. In my to-meet list, there are so many well-respected celebrities whom I am desired to meet and spend time with. However, I would like to share about Pele, who is nicknamed as the greatest soccer player around the globe. Initially, I really need to kick off with the point that Pele was just 17 when he first played in World Cup in Sweden of 1958 for Brazil. Despite his very young age, he was selected as to the national team participating in one of the biggest sports competition on the planet. back then he was not the star player, but when his teammate was hurt, Pelé went into the game. He immediately scored goal and Brazil won the World Cup. By his amazing aptitudes and skills, Pelé was feared by other teams. The Brazilian government even named him as a national treasure. It is not doubtful to say that Pelé is one of the biggest factors making Brazil's soccer so well known. His last World Cup was in Mexico in 1970. Brazil scored 4 goals against Italy to win the World Cup for the third time. Another point that I would like to share is that Pelé owns an admirable career that every soccer player craves for. Pelé holds many soccer records such as having over 1000 goals in his career. He was nominated Athlete of the Century in 1980 and became a member of Soccer Hall of Fame in 1993. Although he is now retired from professional competition, Pelé is still considered as a great inspiration for soccer players and lovers. Questions for part 3. Number 1. In general, how do people become famous? In the era of technology, being famous has never been easier. People who have extraordinary skills or abilities or talents in any field would be able to become famous with the assistance of the media. What kinds of people become famous? In my opinion, there are 2 kinds of fame that are consistent with 2 types of people. The first type is well-reputed people with admirable skills or dedication to the civilization. They are usually scientists, researchers, athletes, or soldiers spending their lifetime working towards success without the desire to become well known. The other type of people is attention publicity seeking people, who often are celebrities in the entertainment industry, politicians, or those becoming famous overnight. Question number 3. Do you think to be famous, a person needs to have some special talent or ability? No, I don't think so. Besides incredible aptitudes, people can also be famous for other qualities such as beauty or charity work. Question number 4. What are some general qualities of famous people? Do they have any qualities that are different from ordinary people? The basic benchmark of famous people is a special talent or ability, which not so many people can possess. However, there are other qualities which are common that anyone can have, such as beauty or kindness, because these are not difficult to achieve. For example, undergoing cosmetic surgery or doing charity work. Question number 5. Compare how people become celebrities today with how people became celebrities years ago. For example, 30 or 50 years ago. Nowadays, thanks to the modernization of technology, it takes only a few seconds to change a person's life. The invention of smart devices as well as social networking has made a person famous at one fell swoop. Whereas in the past, the only way to be celebrated was appearing on the television or radio. Question number 6. Can you give some examples of celebrities in your grandfather's time? That is about 50 years ago. 50 years represent a considerable generation gap. Therefore, I only know a few celebrities in that time. They are actress Marilyn Monroe, rock star Elvis Presley, and the pop music band the Beatles. Question number 7. Compare what kinds of people were famous in Bangladesh in the past. As for example, when your grandfather was young, to the kinds of people who are famous today. In my grandfather's era, only people who dedicated their talents and knowledge to achieve great feats were respected by the public in Bangladesh. However, the young Bangladeshi generation today is familiar with social networking where they can easily get either good or bad public attention. For instance, videos about a group of bullying girls were so popular on the internet that school violence became phenomenal in the country. Question number 8. In your opinion, were the standards for judging who is famous before better than they are now? From my personal point of view, the qualities of being famous in the past were by far more appropriate than they are at the present. Today, the invention of smart devices as well as social networks has made it easier to be famous. People can gain public attention just by sharing controversial photos or videos, regardless of common sense. Dear audience, viewers, and students, this is the end of QCAD number 19. It was presented by Kemra Hindul Islam, Professor of English, and you can have a look at my qualifications. And if you wish to know more about it, you can visit my center located at Mirpur 10, Falpati Masjid Gul Samad Mansion, second floor. Okay, see you soon with another video, QCAD number 20, within 1 or 2 days. Have a nice day. Bye. Assalamu alaikum.